So here's the Tailrace that makes the Swift River what it is. Keeps it nice and cool. Looks like guys have been walking up there though. You're not supposed to, but guys have been fishing there. I guess the temptation is just too great. You can see it's not like, compared to where we fish in some of our wild rivers, it isn't.
Really shallow.
Yeah. Notice we got some snow coming down here. You trying your nymph, or are you streamer fishing?
So in this episode, Tom and I are hitting the Swift River, initially just below the Windsor Dam at the Y Pool, and later on we're going to head down to Bondsville, and you're going to get to see the Swift River at what we could call its best and worst. Because when it leaves Quabbin, we're talking about pristine water coming out of a tailrace and a spillway. Water that meanders along its course, much like an English trout stream, probably due to the fact that a lot of sediment has been brought through the tailrace and spillway over the 80 years that Quabbin's been around, creating a fertile area for the growth of weeds. And I think there's more weeds in the Swift River than I've seen in any other Western Mass river. As you move into the central section of the Swift, it meanders through some really neat young forest. And there's lots of brush, lots of overhanging branches and downed logs in the river. Logs that'll be there year in and year out, because the river doesn't flood much as a result of the dam control above. This is an area much like up above, and the secret here is going to be finding access or deciding to stay in the river and hoofing it down the channel and then walking back on a road. Reservoir in the center is a whole different story. We have an episode or two coming from that region, and that was created by the dam that was built by the factories in Bondsville in the middle of the 19th century. Below the dam, the river looks a lot more like other Western Mass trout streams, with a lot of pocket water and runs and rivulets and plunge pools and all kinds of good stuff like that. But the river's sketchy in this area, not only because of some industrial dangers from an old factory that burned to the ground in 1966, but because of some of the humans that inhabit the banks, living in tents and discarding hypodermic needles wherever they can. My recommendation is, if you're going to fish that lower area of the river, you do it with a buddy, and if you don't, let people know that you're going there. Have your cell phone with you, be ready to use it, and mind your own business. But at the same time, watch the water and the land for industrial dangers like eyebar sticking up out of the channel of the river. It's there, and it'll puncture your waders or your lungs.
I'm watching them go from being like sand colored, and then they go out over the dark stuff and they darken up almost immediately. They're pretty aggressive though. If you get near them, they oh, look at a mink. See the mink? Right up above Tom, you can see the Windsor Dam. Oh, there's like a salmon right here. The salmon come down from the spillway that one down there. That's the spillway. Straight ahead of us. Ahead of me. That's where the fish will, like, yeah, they'll get out of Quabbin and they'll come down. And I would imagine they must have gotten out this year because, yeah, that's the Tailrace. The spillway is just a spillway, right? Well, a Tailrace is releasing water from below the dam. A spillway, the water comes over the top of the dam, but the tailrace, it comes out from below the dam. So the tailrace is cold, cold, cold water. Tailrace, spillway. This entire area is an old factory run. You can see up there, there's an old dam up there. You can see a run going across, and then a spill, and then a run coming down here. And it's all channeled. So the factories, you know, this must have been a big factory complex over where the apartments are today. Check it out, Tom. You got that area, old spillway coming out right there? So it must have been a big factory right there. We're exploring. That's what we do. Fishing, historic places. And you can see old canal foundations and factory foundations all over the place here. And you can see mortar in it, right? So there's some cement in there that says that it's going to be 1880s and beyond, but it doesn't mean that the foundation wasn't built of dry stone first. A little mortar over there. I'll tell you, this would just be a wall if it wasn't for crazy kids and a couple cans of spray paint, Tom. I'm so glad that kids will take the time to decorate, you know, these old mills. 1905, this abutment was built that we're looking at here. So Teddy Roosevelt was president, November 1905. And they decided to build this, whatever, I think it's an abutment. Could be a powerhouse though. For a powerhouse. And look at this, Tom. Foundations here. Look at a hunk of iron supporting all that brickwork right there. Wow. And here's some wader tracks heading out in this direction. What do you think that is? Like 18 inches in span, this hunk. And look at the supports. There were some problems with those kind of supports. They made those kind of supports telescope. And they'd be held together by just a single bolt. If the bolt broke, the telescope would slide in. Pembroke Mills in Massachusetts suffered from such a support set. Check this out. So we got under the bridge. Oh, somebody's been hanging out down there in the summertime, drinking beer. There's places here where you could theoretically tumble through. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Any action?
A little bit.
Brookies?
I hooked with brown.
Tiny Rapala on it?
Yeah.
What did I cast out? First, second cast?
Yeah, he pulls in like a nice 15-inch brookie, and then he got like two more. Beautiful. Hook-jawed. Beautiful brookies, yeah. We have to like literally be careful that we don't fall through the bridge. I know, especially with this snow on it. Okay, so now we're off the bridge, so I can feel safe. I'm standing on dirt again. Yeah. And I wonder if this was a powerhouse. It's almost got the look of being a powerhouse. In this pristine wilderness. Watch out. I'm just saying, this is all, we're on that bridge again. I'm keeping the camera on you in case you drop out of sight like Looney Tunes.
Oh, I'm looking at the framework over here.
Holy cow. Okay, so we sneak around. There's a path right here. That's the snow, hopefully. Wow. This looks like it was for an old viaduct for a railroad, this framing that we're looking at here. So that they had a train coming across. I don't know for sure. Yeah, it's like a Howe truss right there. That's like a Howe truss made out of cement. It sure is. The things you do to get into fish. Wow. And you can see again the Swift River up here is meandering through an area that, well, as of 1905, so 100 years ago, was quite a factory system here. So we have a canal on the other side of the river that's sluicing down toward a powerhouse of some kind. Then there's a powerhouse on this side of the river too, as if to say that this was dammed up right to maybe the top of that rock abutment or retaining wall. And Tom is going down right here. He's got some great bubble lines, and I'm going to come down over here and try this spill in. See what we can do. See that wall across from me has no hint of mortar in it. And while the mortar could have popped out as a result of winters freezing, thawing, freezing, thawing, it also might indicate that we're looking at an older wall there that's going to predate all the cement structures we saw down below. So this could be 1840s, 50s, 60s in there, 70s. Had a couple little bumps so far, but we have not pulled anything in yet. Big log that's running down. My dry fly and dropper are floating right down it. It's a good drift. Try it one more time in a minute. Came right down nice. No takers. Oh, 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 oh! 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 One just came up and looked at it. Yeah, he was looking at my dry fly. Looked like a brown. Could have been a brookie though. Oh, that was a nice drift. Nothing though, but it was a nice drift. Oh, that was a good cast. That was my best yet. Right where I like to be. The hot zone, I'm in the hot zone. Oh, right into all those bubbles. Come on, you guys. Nada. Tom's fishing a recent beaver kill. You can see that tree over there. Tom's throwing that. It was just taken out by a beaver about a month ago, not even. This is an ambitious beaver family down here. They don't care. It's a nice bubble field right there. And that's a nice place to be when you're in the bubbles like that. And it is getting colder. It's probably mid-30s right now. I'm right behind a nice rock right there. Good spot for brookies to hang out. They love those kind of pieces of structure. Seem to really like sticks and weeds too. I don't even think they care. They're like largemouth bass. People talk about brown trout being like the largemouth bass of the trout world. I think brookies are. Brookies are animals. Got about half of a. We're still looking at some sambuca here. Oh yeah, chilled and everything. Oh, we got the wind. I'm beating the water. Oh, that was a good, the wind helped me out there. Let's see if I can maximize. It's right where I like to be over there. Don't got a lot of time since the beaver has taken out that tree. Oh, I was almost punished for my temerity throwing in there. So way up on the hill, you can see the beginning of a railroad bridge. So there's a track that came out, probably relating to the factory complex here. And it spanned the Swift River, and you can see where they've got the foundation or the footer. One here, one over there, one over there, one over here. And it spans the river. You can see it continuing. One there, one there, one there, one there, right up to the top. Now that thing would have been 45, 50 feet above us. Maybe higher, 80 off the river. One of those old wooden trestle bridges. It's been gone for a long time. You can still see where it was. It didn't take out the stone foundations cut by some stonemasons years ago.